So to create any class in the system, before I create any classes, I have to actually create courses in the system. And before I create a course, I've got to create some reference types. A couple of things you'll notice. First of all, I'm in the JATC org unit. This is important that we're in this org unit when we're doing things tied to education. It's going to be the norm for you, but I want to make sure that because you'll probably be able to switch back and forth, that you are in fact in the JATC when you're working in this space. One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to create references. We may actually end up coming back here, but I notice I've got to create a couple of references that are important. The first thing I'm going to create is a course type reference. I'm going to keep this one really simple. I'm just going to say plumbing and pipe fitting. And again, I'll refer to you a little bit later in terms of making sure that my reference is good here. Another one that I know that I'm going to need is the apprentice type. Now, I'll double check with you with respect to the programs that exist there at the JATC, but I know plumbing and pipe fitting is one of the apprentice types. So we're going to go ahead and create that one as well. I'm going to go into the apprentice type, and I'm just going to create the plumbing and pipe fitting. So with those two references, there's probably other values that we can be adding in here, but I know these two are going to be mandatory for us to get things started. Now that we've got the course, the necessary course reference set up, I'm going to jump into courses under education and create courses for each one of the years. It's very common in this space, and again, I'll check with you to create one for each year. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this one 4 times. 4. And I'm going to create a course, first year, plumbing and pipe fitting. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use it similar to this. I'm just going to go with the default here and save the course. This is really, more than anything, this is just a means to get them created. Here I'm going to do the same, except I'm going to say second year. We'll do one for third year. And fourth year. Now that I've got those courses created, I'm going to go back to my course, update with my list. There they are. If I go into classes now, I'll show you how easy it is to create the class. It's a pretty simple process now that we've got that set up. So I'm going to say first year plumbing and pipe fitting, and I will follow up with you with respect to the actual naming convention that we want to use. Typically what we do is we do something like this to indicate the year, and we may also do something like this to indicate the last name of the instructor that's teaching. It's really, more than anything, some unique identifiers that we would add just in case in the potential possibility that we'd have 2 first-year classes. I'll choose the first year plumbing and pipe fitting course that it's based on. Again, there's probably more setup that we can do there. I'm just going to say this is a full year class. We could have things like in-person class versus a virtual class and define some of these other things, including an address. It's really not necessary. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in fictitious dates and time, although I'll confer with you on the specific dates and times. I'm going to say that this class starts at 9 and goes to 5. Again, I don't know what frequency it is, but hypothetically, we're going to say that it starts here on September 12th, and the end date of the class itself goes to next May. I'll say on this one, and I'm going to say that this class is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, this is designed, this little schedule piece down here when we're creating the class, it is designed for us to be able to just generate the days based on these parameters we provide in here. This is not, this class that I'm creating right here is not necessarily obligated to use these days. We can easily regenerate this, but I'm just generating some fictitious information and then we'll reach back to you to make sure that we're getting this accurate. When I save the class, I go to the class profile. You see it there. And adding a student is simply a matter of just doing that, typing in the name of the students. Keep in mind we don't have people in this system yet. As soon as we do that, they're added to the class and we can add on invoices and things like that. That's the process kind of end to end to do the class. You'll notice as I go into classes now, we've got this class created. You can see the date and time. I can come in. As with any other profile view, if I want to edit this class, I would go here. Now remember that when we're looking at the profile view for something, and this can be a class, a person, a company, an event, doesn't really matter. If there's a collection or multiple collections of related data, then it's not going to be found in the profile view on the edit here. It's actually found here on the profile icon where we see these additional things. Now, this looks a lot different than person or company, but think about it. We're talking about a class here. And so if I want to edit the schedule, for example, all the days, I would click on schedule. Remember, I told you we could regenerate these days if we want just by re-inputting the parameters that correctly reflect what days of the week, what times the class is going to be held, how many hours per day, etc., and we'll regenerate. Once we have that largely in place, you can get the schedule exact by simply making modifications here. Like let's say, for example, one of these days, this particular day, I think this is a Monday. If I wanted to change this to go on Tuesday, I could simply edit it, change the date to go on the 31st, save the changes, and now that one particular class happens on the 31st instead of the 30th. So here we're modifying the schedule. Again, I'm not going to do anything until I've conferred with you. That is a process more or less end-to-end for class creation.